Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. I had a ball with Dean Devlin the other day.
Oh, nice, nice.
Uh,
He's always so much fun to talk to.
well, he's a good guy at the very core of everything.
Yes, and with very many fun stories too to listen to.
Yes, yeah, we have to stop him from telling some of them, but that's between you and me. First of all, congratulations on Almost Paradise. What an amazingly fun and action-packed show.
Thank you, thank you. It's really fun to be able to be part of the show.
And this requires a bit of, athleticism on your part. Are you
Yeah.
normally, this buff?
That's so funny because Dean actually, when he told me about the role, he was just like, "Are you athletic?" I was just like, "Yeah, I'd like to say I am. I mean, I like to stay active. I mean, I do like to go to the gym. So yeah."
Was there a lot of training involved in taking on the role?
Yeah, definitely a lot of training. A lot of combat training, a lot of fight training. We had a week before we started filming when we got there, and we literally got into the dojo and we started doing fight choreography and training and all that stuff.
Well, one of the things actors always tell me is when they're training with guns, they say, well, when I walked in, I thought I knew how to handle a gun, but you don't. You have to be an expert on some of this stuff.
You do. Yeah, you do. They took me to the firing range. They had me, take the magazine out and do all that crazy stuff to be able to make sure that I could do it in a second and do it like really fast and, to be able to look like I actually know what I'm doing. So, it was great. It was great fun.
Was the audition for this a bit undaunting? I know that Christian was there.
Yes.
During the audition process. That doesn't happen normally.
Apparently it doesn't. I was told about this role, and first audition I did was on my phone, and they sent it over to Dean, and then next thing I know, I'm being called to a studio out here in the Philippines because Dean Devlin came out here with Christian Kane, and we were supposed to do a chemistry read. So that was pretty nerve-wracking for me, but it was fun to be able to chat with the two before I actually got down to the audition, which is good.
Now, tell me a little bit about your character, because she really is, kind of a no-nonsense cop.
Yes. Definitely a no-nonsense cop. She's very fearless, very fearless, audacious, but she's also very, very compassionate. She's a young detective. She's basically in a man's world, and she has to sort of fend for herself because, she's not really, I don't think, respected as much, being the youngest cop to ever make it in the force, and also, a woman at that. And she's surrounded by a lot of men in her industry, and she definitely, you see that bite in her and you see that fight in her, but the only, she feels like she always needs to prove herself to her peers and especially to her boss, but thankfully she's got a great partner, Detective Ernesto Alamares, played by the amazing actor Arthur Acuna, who pretty much has my back. And I think he's very calm enough to be able to sort of, get me together, because I'm a very intense character, as you can see. And, she doesn't really like the main character as well, played by Christian Kane, Alex Walker. So it's very fun to be able to play her. She's definitely no nonsense. But, she also is very compassionate. She definitely is a cop for all the right reasons. She loves her community. She loves being able to help people. And it's interesting to be able to see her character grow throughout the season.
Well, let's talk about the fourth character in the series. That's the Philippines itself. Is such a remarkably beautiful place.
Have you been to the Philippines?
I have been to the Philippines once.
Oh, nice.
But where you guys are shooting is just gorgeous.
Yeah, we definitely show the very luxurious and beautiful places in the island of the Philippines, and we're actually filming in Mactan in Cebu, and we spent a whole 5 months there, and it's I definitely have to tell you, it doesn't feel like work. You know, you go into work and then you come back home and you're still by the beach. You go to work and you're by the beach. It's an amazing it's amazing to be able
It's a
to.
dream job.
It is a dream job, yes.
And your co-stars are amazing. Let's talk about Arthur, because he is so wonderful, and I have a feeling that that after we visit these episodes, we're going to find out a heck of a lot about him. It's like an onion being peeled.
Yes. Yes. I mean, well, you meet Ernesto in the first episode. He doesn't really say too much. You know, he's referred to as Silent Bob, but throughout you see him just be able to sort of unfold, and you'll be able to see that he's sort of like a sensei in a way. He's the he speaks a lot for the island and for the people, for his people. So he's a great character to be able to play against too.
And then there's Christian, who is
Yeah.
Alex Walker in this, and does a really great job in wanting to be retired and yet being pulled back into something he doesn't. It's a reluctant hero.
Yeah, yeah. He says he wants to retire, but you know that this is really where he's supposed to be, like this is the stuff that doesn't stress him out, the crazy world, the madness.
It's kind of a buddy series too, where you guys are learning about each other, and all three of you. And what Dean told me was really kind of remarkable too, that you had just finished shooting pretty much when they closed the island up. They closed the Philippines down to air travel. So he escaped with the series, basically.
Yeah, we almost didn't make it, like what people don't know is we actually just sort of finished shooting. We, it was mid-March, and we got news that the lockdown was going to happen literally on the last day of filming. And we were all just like panicking because we initially wanted to spend a little bit more time on the island after we finished shooting, and we wanted to enjoy a little bit of, just hanging out with each other. But we didn't have the luxury to do that. We all had to fly back home, and yeah, it was pretty scary, but thankfully we ended just in time.
When did you get the acting bug?
I got the acting bug literally I think I've always had the acting bug ever since I was younger, while I was still in design school, but I went with more of the design world than the acting world. But this sort of fell on my lap, and someone approached me with this project, and I literally couldn't say no. And I fell in love with this character. I fell in love with the idea of this show, and I was just like, I'm in. I have nothing to lose. I'm going to audition for this, and yeah, this is.
But in your heart, do you want to hop behind a camera and direct someday? Or you?
You know what? Never say never. I would love to. I would love to. I would love to try all these things. I think that's very interesting. I have thought about it, but I don't want to say that it's definitely for me. But I'd love to try it one day.
There are moments in the first episode where. You just shine in this, and the big reveal is when you're on the boat.
Yeah. Oh, is that where I came out and kicked some ass?
Yeah, well, you came out and kicked ass, and you move like a dancer.
Thank you. I actually, when people ask me about fight training, I've honestly never had any fight training, but I have had dance training. So that I think made being able to fight on screen pretty easy. As Christian said, it's a dance, and it's choreography. So thankfully I've been trained in that, and yeah.
Now, are you a singer as well? Do you vocalize?
No, I am a closeted singer. I like to sing in the shower.
Well, most of us.
But I'm very shy when a mic's in front of my face. But hopefully one day. I think you need to get a few drinks in me to be able to sing.
What about hobbies? Do you cook? Do you love traveling when you can?
Yeah, I love traveling. I love traveling, but also, I do love to dance as well. So I do go to the studio. I have a friend who's a dancer and owns a studio out here. So I go out there, probably 4 times a week, and that's pretty much my hobby. I enjoy being able to dance and do all that stuff, and I love
Well,
to keep active.
Almost Paradise is really really hot here right now. People are talking about it. Great word of mouth on this. It's being picked up by a lot of streaming services. I mean, that's a really good sign that the
Yes.
audience for this is growing and growing fast. And it's a great it's a great kind of comedy. It's a throwback to some of the '70s detective shows that some of us all grew up on. So congratulations, because this thing is very well written.
Thanks.
It's got such a punch to it. It's got just that kind of fun action that we look for in entertainment.
Oh, thanks. It's definitely an experience to be able to be part of this.
I really, really want to thank you for your time as well, because this was very sweet of you to sit and chat with me, and for us to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.